So the first Sunday of the season without Lions football. Feels kind of weird and sad, especially considering the Lions were this close to the Super Bowl and just fell short. Slowly getting over it, but, still very hard too, especially with how close they were. But of course, there were a couple other distractions this week to help ease the pain, with the Pistons playing this week. Okay, that doesn't really help the pain, that probably just intensifies it. And the Red Wings had one last game this week against Ottawa in a revenge game from what happened in December before we head off for the All-Star break. So let's take a look at the Pistons and the Red Wings for this Detroit sports recap and see how they fared this week. Detroit basketball! So in the year 2024, after 1 month, it's still determined that the Pistons still cannot win back-to-back games and it's still illegal, as the Pistons had 3 games and dropped 3 games. And especially games against the Clippers and the Magic, the Pistons in both games jumped out to an early lead. Is anyone surprised that the Pistons would blow said lead and lose? For me, not really surprising. They've been doing that all year. As the Pistons all year usually get off to a very fast start and then the wheels completely fall right off the bus. Not really surprising in the slightest. And with the Pistons' loss to the Clippers on Friday, it means that the Pistons have officially guaranteed that they will have finished the season this season with a losing record. It's alright, this season can't get any worse. I've already felt enough pain. The good news is, now with this losing record now guaranteed, the Pistons season can slowly end and... Wait a second. There's still 33 more games of this shit left? Dear God. Here's the good news. At least another Detroit sports team is coming back later this month. At the very end, though. And that's the Tigers. Bad news, it's spring training, and spring training's preseason, and preseason doesn't really mean anything. Because it's more test than tune-up. But hey, with the Tigers back, at least it gets us another distraction from the Pistons. As for the Red Wings on Wednesday against Ottawa, I'm just going to say this, I'm not mad at how the Red Wings handled that game. I'm just severely disappointed in it. Like, seriously, Detroit, you had one fucking job in that game against Ottawa. Get back at Ottawa for what happened again with Larkin and stand up for yourselves. And you failed to even do that properly. As the Wings got completely outplayed and outclassed by an inferior Ottawa team that's in the fucking basement of the Eastern Conference. That is fucking pathetic. I don't care that we got a fucking point out of that game. That is fucking pathetic that the Wings played down to an inferior team like the Senators. A Senators team that has went down the shitter ever since that Larkin incident, while the Wings have went up. Like, it's just frustrating that the Wings, even with how much they've improved, they still have a knack of playing down to inferior teams like Ottawa, who are complete dog shit. Like, just absolutely fucking embarrassing by the Wings losing to Ottawa. And not standing up for themselves and doing absolutely nothing about what happened in December to Larkin. Like, that is just fucking embarrassing by the Wings. You had one job and you done fucked it up. I'll tell you right now, if it was the Lions there Wednesday, someone's head would have been fucking decapitated Wednesday. Hell, if it was the 97 Red Wings playing Wednesday, someone's head would have been on a fucking pike outside Little Caesars Arena. You failed to stand up for yourself and let a fucking garbage-ass Ottawa team fucking bully you for 64 minutes. That's pretty bad. And you wonder why nobody fucking gives Detroit any respect. Just fucking terrible. Like, to think a couple months ago, people were saying that this Red Wings team was better than the Lions. This team that can't even beat a garbage-ass Ottawa Senators team, was supposed to be better than the Lions. That is fucking bad. Like, honestly, some people just need to get a clue, and some people just need to shut the fuck up and trust the process. But I think definitely there needs to be some questions, though, with the Red Wings and how they're handling things. Because the Wings, at some point, they need to learn how to stand up for themselves. They don't stand up for what happened in December. They're just going to continue getting run over again until until somebody gets badly injured. And now by doing nothing, you just encourage that Ottawa Senators fan base to continue being as toxic as they are. Yeah. I mean, the one good new thing was that was the only game this week, as we had the All-Star break this week with Alex DeBrincat representing the Wayne Wheel in Toronto for the All-Star game. And he had a pretty solid job in the All-Star outing. Had some pretty good highlights there too, him and his son Archie. So that's good to see. And of course, the other big news that came out of All-Star Weekend, the NHL is officially re-entering the Winter Olympics in 2026 and 2030. Oh, US is about to get their shit stomped in the Olympics by Canada again. Oh, this is gonna be good. But yeah, more likely a lot of Red Wings players are gonna be going to the Olympics in 2026 and 2030. Probably DeBrincat and Larkin for USA, and time tells with everybody else. Probably Seider with Germany, and probably Raymond and a couple of the Swedes over to Sweden. And of course, there'll also be another meeting coming up about whether Russia will be allowed back into the Olympics or not, or will politics once again play a factor in that? Probably the latter. Because, politics ruin everything in sports. Honestly, if you want to keep politics out of sports, how about actually keep them out on both sides of the political fence, and instead of the ones you just don't agree with or the ones that don't fit your agenda? But honestly, if Russia wants to play, let them play. Let them play and keep politics out of it. But the bad news is we're probably going to see more politics in sports this year, since this year's an election year. God help us all. But that about wraps it up. The Waynes only play one game next week, and that will be Saturday against the Canucks. And the Pistons got a couple more games next week, as the Pistons All-Star break isn't for a couple more weeks. But honestly, other than the Pistons tanking at Little Caesars, the Red Wings are the only positive thing to look at in Detroit. And with how they played against Ottawa, that's not really a good positive. Honestly, the way they played against Ottawa, that's how you get called a fucking fraud. That is pretty pathetic and bad. Honestly, though, hopefully with this swing of Western Canadian teams coming up, the Waynes can get their shit together. We'll see, as the Waynes currently still hold on to that 8th and final playoff spot. As that point they got from Ottawa, it still keeps them somewhat in that race for the 3rd spot in the Atlantic with Tampa Bay and Toronto, but they got a lot of work to do. But the first week of Lions offseason has been complete. Other than the Pro Bowl, not much else to talk about, because really not much football talk to talk about for the Lions until maybe March, once free agency starts up. And then we get into the draft talk and all that. And honestly, for all the Lions fans that say that this year was the Lions' only shot this year, do everyone a favor real quick. Take the Lions gear off and go root for a fucking different game. Go root for a team that you won't sell out on once the going gets tough. It's kind of fucking sad and pathetic to see how many Lions fans are going to abandon the team after having to face one shred of fucking adversity. Honestly, if you can't handle how that game went and you think that was their only shot, take the gear off, go root for a different team. In fact, I heard the Kansas City Chiefs fan base is looking for more bandwagon fans, because I guess the Swifties aren't enough for them. So if you want to go hop on a bandwagon, go hop on the Chiefs bandwagon. Get the fuck out. But don't worry. Here's what's going to happen. Everyone that's selling on the Lions right now, they'll sell out. And then when they get proven wrong again next year and the Lions can actually finish the job next year, they'll come crawling right back. And everyone will pretend, and they'll pretend like they never sold out and they were with the team since day one. Honestly, all the fucking fakes have been exposed after last Sunday. And all the fakes are showing how truly ungrateful they really are. But anyway, on to next week, and see if the Red Wings can rebound strongly after the All-Star break.